What is up, everyone? I have a Gears of War 4 beta gameplay on the map Foundation. Before I get into the topic of discussion, I just want to say a huge shout out to the Coalition for the introduction that you saw at the beginning of this video. It's truly a miracle that I can even put together a video and a commentary. So I just want to say that content creators such as myself really appreciate the support that the Coalition is providing us. Now, onto the gameplay. Obviously, this is the first Gears of War 4 beta gameplay that I'm posting on my channel, and I wanted to make sure that it was a very entertaining one, and I hope that this fits the bill. I think it's safe to say that as the beta progresses, we're going to see skill increase on the part of the players, but for the time being, people are still trying to figure out the ropes of the game, including myself, and that can make for some pretty entertaining matches, to say the least. Now, the topic of this video is called the Road to Improvement, Episode 1, My Secret. This is a new series that I wanted to introduce that basically takes a bunch of topics that helped me as a player, and I wanted to share it with other people in the hopes that these discussions can help you improve your Gears of War gameplay by the time the full game comes out. The reason I think this is a good series to start is because obviously we're going to see some changes from the beta to the final game that we get in October, but these talks will still stay relevant to the final game regardless of the changes that are being made, because it's a little bit more broad than specific tips and tricks that I would like to put out. Those kinds of videos are going to have to wait for the full game when things are absolutely set in place, because as of right now, nothing is set in stone for the game. With that said, the first episode of Road to Improvement is entitled My Secret, and I hope that's provocative enough to get some people's attention. There is a secret that I do attribute some of my success to, and I think it would be useful to share with other people in the hopes that they can adopt it and improve their gameplay when it comes to the beta or the full version of Gears of War 4 when it comes out. So to get to the core of My Secret, I have to talk about the context that kind of led to it. So back in Gears of War 1, 2006, I was a much younger player. I loved playing Gears of War all the time, but I wasn't very good. So I would frequently die all the time, and I would have to wait 2 or more minutes just to get back into the fray and play the game, because there was no game types other than game types where you cannot respawn. So it was Execution, Warzone, and Assassination. Needless to say, after waiting a while during games, it could be very annoying that I didn't get to play as much, and that really pushed me to improve at the game and make sure that I was in fights much longer and that I stayed alive and performed much better. And this is really where My Secret comes into play. So if I had to put quotations around it, what I did is each time I died, I would reflect on why it is I died, and I would try to understand in my head how I could have avoided dying in the situation in the first place. So what a lot of players will do is they either won't think about the deaths that they get in the game and just kind of brush it off their shoulders, or they will engage in blame avoidance and blame other things such as lag or teammates who should have fulfilled a certain role but failed to do so. So instead of that, what I did was I placed 100% of the blame on me all the time, and I would ask myself, okay, why is it that I died there? How can I avoid that in the future? And what happened when I played Gears 1 is I started to adapt and really learn how to avoid common mistakes that would eventually lead to my death. So, you know, times where I had pushed somebody who had right hand or pushed somebody who had a power weapon and I died, I'd learn from that and I wouldn't make the same mistake twice. Now, obviously, we're human, and not all deaths are going to be your fault, or there might be some other circumstances that led to it, but as a strategy, if you learn how to place all of the blame or the majority of the blame on yourself as a player, it will force you to critically evaluate the way that you're playing the game, and that's going to push you to improve your gameplay. So in the context of Gears of War 4, I think this is really relevant right now because it's a brand new game. We have the beta, and you're probably going to die a crap ton, and that goes for me too, because you're not 100% familiar with the game. Even when you are familiar with the game, you're still going to die a lot. But now more than ever, you're going to have tons of deaths, and you'll have a choice when you die. You can brush it off, engage in blame avoidance, or you can think about what led to your death and think about how you can avoid that in the future, and that will really push you to become a better player. So for me, I've already had many deaths in Gears of War 4 where I have to take a mental note and say, okay, I died there because I tried to push a drop shot in a straight line, which was not smart. I died because I hit the B button in a scenario where I thought it performed a certain function when it actually performed a different function. I could give you a million scenarios, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to evaluate the scenario that you've encountered and really think how it is you can avoid such a death in the future. At this point, I'd imagine that some people would rebut and say, well, Chris, not all my deaths are avoidable. For instance, I was up against 4 people, they all had boom shots, what am I supposed to do? I fully acknowledge this, and the truth is there's going to be so many scenarios where you're just not destined to win, the odds are against you, and it's more than likely that you are going to die. But the value in adopting the mindset behind the secret that I've shared with everyone is that it pushes you to improve even in situations where you would think that you are relatively hopeless. And that's why you'll see in a lot of my gameplay, even when I'm outnumbered or I'm not doing particularly well, and my team is doing poorly, I will still try 100% because there is always that chance that you'll pull through in situations, and those are the best kind of situations in Gears of War to pull through for. I mean, I think clutches are a hallmark of the game, and I definitely would not be hitting as many clutches as I do, which is very few right now, if I am being honest, if I didn't adopt this mindset. Now, as a closing note, I want to say that I'm not trying to advocate for selfish, individualistic gameplay. It is true that this type of mentality I've told you about will help you improve your individual gameplay a heck of a lot, but it will not necessarily hold true for objective game types or playing as a team. And learning how to play cohesively as a team is fundamental for succeeding in Gears of War. But those are 2 talks that are going to have to be given in a separate video for Road to Improvement. Please let me know if you enjoy this talk, and I will make sure to continue the series. I hope the gameplay was entertaining. If you've stuck it out this far, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.